That's right, folks. We got ourselves here another weapon of war. So let's go back to the bench and see what we got. Well, hello there, friends, ladies, gentlemen, fellow firearms enthusiasts. Welcome back to Crooked Horse Rifle and Pistol out of Lamar County, Mississippi. Today it's another nice day to be outside. Temperature's pretty warm. A little overcast, but that's okay, because we got more rain coming tomorrow, allegedly. But today we have ourselves another weapon of war. That's right, folks. The SKS rifle. Now, little backstory on the SKS. It was developed by Sergei Semenov in 1945 for the Soviet Union. And like the AK-47, is chambered in a 7.62 by 39 millimeter round. Now, not only would these rifles be produced by the Soviet Union, they would also be produced by Eastern Bloc countries as well as China. Like this one, this SKS right here. This was manufactured by China. Now China would produce, not only would they produce these rifles, but along with the Soviet Union, they would mass export these rifles to numerous countries around the globe. Now the SKS was designed primarily to replace the Mosin Nagant that the Soviet forces used during World War II. However, the SKS, it was still in field trials, up until the surrender of Germany. So it never seen any action during World War II. However, it did see, the Soviet forces did use the SKS during some brief skirmishes following World War II. But eventually, the Soviet Union would replace the SKS with AK-47s, in the early 50s. Now, with the Chinese SKS, in 1955, the People's Republic of China would require the licensing and the tooling, to produce their SKS, and they would refer to it as the Type 56. Now, over 9 million of these rifles would be produced at numerous factories across China, and additionally, these rifles, they can be found on the battlefields on just about every global conflict today, from past even up till today. Now, in the late 80s and early 90s, China and the Soviet Union would introduce the SKS to commercial markets in the United States and Canada. So this particular, so the SKS, some of them have come with the, with the bayonet. Some of them you'll find without a bayonet. And you're clear. And the bayonet, it's kind of like the, the Mosin Nagant carbine. Same thing. It's fixed on there. Just slides over the barrel like that. Now this particular SKS, the bayonet, is the they call it the frog sticker. But you have the frog sticker bayonet, and you also have the blade bayonet. And we'll talk a little more about the bayonet, whether the spike or the blade bayonet, a little bit later. So there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. We have the shroud over the front sight post. Now, which is no adjustable. We have our rear sight that's adjustable for elevation. And this is a gas operated rifle, and it has a 10 round internal magazine. Now you can get buy clips for these. Oh. Well, I should say magazines, and modify it to take a detachable magazine. On the rear of the rifle, we have our little storage compartment with our little cleaning kit, and this one is spring acting. So you push that in, and you hope not to get your fingernail caught in that, which I did. That's smart. And here and you bring out your little tool here. Got your little brush. Got a little punch tool. And then another bore cleaning kit there. And all this attaches to your rod, your cleaning rod, right here at the end. And we'll just put all this stuff back in here so I ain't losing stuff on the muddy forest. I can't talk today. Yeah, let's see if we can't get this thing back together. There we go. And that just slides back into this compartment here. So the SKS rifle is primarily fed by stripper clip. I don't have any stripper clips, so we're going to feed this from the bottom. There's a lever that you can open up the your little internal magazine well. Going to bring the bolt forward. Let's make sure our rifle's on safe. And the safety on this thing. This here's your safety. It's a lever right along the trigger there. So when you bring that lever down, it's on fire. When you bring that lever up, it's on safe. So if you ain't got any stripper clips, an easy way to load this thing, just open up the bottom of your magazine. You just drop your rounds in there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. And there's probably some people out there looking at me like I'm crazy right now for loading it like that. There we go. So now we're loaded. Let's put the eyes and ears back on and see if we can't hit anything. So we got our magazine loaded with 10 rounds. Let's see if we can't hit anything. Okay, we're clear. Yeah, didn't do as good as I figured I would. Then again, I really haven't spent much time zeroing in this sight. Yeah, well, let's drop some more rounds in this magazine and do some more shooting. And of course, if we're going to have a bayonet, we got to have the bayonet extended. I'll make some adjustments to this sling here. Might help if I chamber it around. Much better. Let's go back to the bench, talk a little more about this rifle. Like I said earlier, I know there's lots of controversy, surrounding the bayonet, and actually that controversy ain't limited to just the bayonet. For one, one thing people always want to, when they have these old rifles, they want to know, when was it made? Now with just bringing that bolt forward there. Now due to, particularly with China and their secretive nature, there's really not a whole bunch of information, reliable information on the internet regarding, the Chinese produced SKS rifles. There is lots of information out there. However, I'll be honest with you, everything that you've seen that's on the internet about these rifles, quite frankly, is just speculation at best. But going back to, manufacture date, officially there's no real way to date a Top 56 rifle. Now, however, there's, you'll come across people that will say if you take, 1955, which was the year they're first made, and then you add the first 2 digits of the serial number, that would get you your manufacture date. Now, if that would be correct, then this particular rifle was manufactured between 1967 and 1968. Another thing, a point of controversy, is whether, rifles were, which rifles were made strictly for commercial market or for military. Some people come out and tell you that, the rifles made for, with the spike bayonet, like this one, was strictly for a commercial market, whereas the ones with the blade bayonet were made for military. And also, you'll come across some that say that they only made the rifles with the blade bayonet for a short, for several years, and then they went to the spike bayonet because the spike bayonet was able to go through, heavy clothing much better than a blade bayonet. And some will say that all the rifles were made for military use, and the surplus, it's the surplus that made its way into the commercial market. So definitely a lot of inconclusive information out there. And whether you had a one that saw any type of military action, there's really no official way to tell unless you got someone that was actually a battlefield capture one. I will say though that these rifles had, like I said, have been used and been found on the battlefield of every war out there since these things started being made, including in the conflict in Ukraine right now. They were definitely used in the Korean War and as well as the Vietnam War. This particular rifle is known as what's known as a Triangle 26, and the reference to that, I'm going to bring it in closer to see. I'm not sure if you can be able to pick it up on the camera. But right here, you have this little marker in here. It's a triangle with the 26 in it. Like I said, I don't know how well you can pick it up on the camera there. But that Triangle 26 signifies that this rifle was made at the Jiangxi Arsenal, also known as State Factory 296. But these rifles were made at various factories across the country of China. Now, for the rifles that were made for, for the state police, public safety officials, there was markings on the right side of the receiver. Those were the only ones that had markings on the right side of the receiver. So if you have one of these that does have the marking on the right side of the receiver, then then that's the 100% sure way that this was was government issued. All right, put that back on safe. Let's drop some more rounds in this thing. Now, when China started and the Soviet Union started exporting these or importing these to the United States and Canada, the target group for that was your hunters. I don't know if there's anybody out there that used an SKS for hunting. Let us know. All right. Let's see what I can hit. This time we won't forget to chamber around. Got ourselves a jam. We're going to put the rifle on safe. There we go. Another jam again. Probably the way I dropped them rounds in the magazine here. Put them 2 rounds back in there. There we go. So, I had a couple jams, but I think that was just the way I, the haphazard way I propped them rounds in the, in the magazine there. Well, let's go back to the bench. So overall, this ain't a bad little rifle to shoot. I will say it's definitely much more comfortable than that AK-47 I shot the other day. Now the sights on this thing, these are military sights, so they can't, it's not, let's just say it's not that easy, as far as, your target acquisition on them. Now if you're looking to buy one of these, now let me backtrack a little bit. Back in the 90s, under the Bush administration, they did discontinue allowing the importation of the Chinese SKSs. So if you do want to purchase one of these, you're probably looking at having to get go to a gun show, or you're still same at your pawn shops and stuff like that. But for the Norinco ones, as far as new ones coming in the country, I believe that the import ban is still there. And incidentally, I think, if I remember correctly, Norinco stands for import. But anywho, if you're looking to purchase one of these, you can find these anywhere for as low as, probably, a few $100s, and I've seen them, being sold as much as, as much as $1,200, if not higher. Personally, I wouldn't pay anything more than $500, for an SKS. Unless it had, some actual, verifiable, military service. Your ones that saw military service, if they come and you got the original box and papers, then maybe. But I definitely wouldn't spend $1,200 for one. But overall, just a nice little piece of history and a fun little rifle to shoot. So we got a couple things coming up. In the near future, I got some more plates that were delivered. So I'm going to do some more clearing back here. And stretch this range out to 400 meters. But before that can happen, I got to wait for this place to dry up, or my tractor going to sink in this mud. So anywho there, ladies and gentlemen, friends, fellow firearms enthusiasts, I'd like to thank you for coming out and joining me here at Crooked Horse Rifle and Pistol in Mark County, Mississippi, and allowing me to share with you this SKS rifle. And until the next time, thank you for shooting with me.